Hello, it's Lee again. I wanted to do this video, as you'll see on the title, about animals, power animals, animals in the spirit world and the like in this sort of scenario. And I gotta say, first of all, that it's hard to say things in a proper order, or when you have many things to say, you just kind of gotta let it go. I don't like reading notes or bullets or anything like that. Just like speaking plain words and let my heart sort of guide my words as it were. So yeah, animals, power animals and animals of the spirit. I first and foremost gotta say that I will strongly suggest to anyone to try to understand that before we ever incarnated into this human type body, that we lived as animals, and many of our habits, our modes of being, our instincts, our attractions and repulsions have to do with our connection to the past memory and impressions we had while we were of this form. Now I know that's hard for some people to understand because we've been told a few lies, such as human beings were just created as such and the soul and the body went together at once just like that. That's not exactly true. And neither is evolution true, that a creature, a small amoeba or whatnot, just happened to appear by accident and then it changed and altered into many forms, yada yada, as if there was no spirituality or intelligence guiding it. That's the folly of evolution. As far as spiritual evolution, you see how I can say to you this, that if our souls have been the animals and we have lived like that, and then later taking on human forms, and later on we're going to take something better than these human bodies. So spiritual evolution of this way is actually true. Darwin or whichever proponent wasn't entirely wrong. But it's a little more mysterious, but that's another topic. So yes, power animals. Don't you think it's interesting that it's not for no reason we have an extreme great attraction to animals? Any good, sane person probably feels very happy and very close, very linked to the animal spirits, the archetypes of animals that exist in this world. A lot of us have favorite animals, for example. So, being that as it were, if I say to you that spirits enter animals for a certain mode of living, for certain experience, in order for preparation, then it leads to better incarnations. I'm going to give a few quick stories of my own experiences, and this should maybe, well, for me it's complete absolute proof, but for other people I'll give this story and see if you believe me. I hope you do, because it is true. Now, I've had in my childhood on a couple occasions cats, and I always felt very drawn to cats. I don't dislike dogs by any means. I love the archetype of the dog and the wolf. That's my username here, Wolf Shaman. I'm a master of the wolves, and this has to do with certain past life things and all that. I might explain a bit later. But for the cats, very interesting that they were proven to me that yes, they have a soul. It's not just false religion like when the Catholic Church or whatever else introduced animals don't have souls and humans do. Animals don't need saving, but humans do. Well, it's a little more deep than that, in the sense that no, an animal doesn't have to repent of its sins, because it's not in the mode of choosing good and evil. It's instinctual, and it's based on survival. It's based on instinct. It doesn't get into these kind of thoughts, just like a human would, right? But the soul does indeed evolve into, and the archetypes of the spirits are already there prior. So to say animals don't have a soul is completely untrue, and to say that when you die, you stop existing is also complete lunacy. So when my brother and I, my mom had got us a kitten when my brother and I were still living with her some years ago, and her name was Misty. She was a tortoise shell cat, or a calico, sort of dark brown with little hints and shades of sort of an auburn color, maybe like a wheat type of color. Very beautiful cat, nice green eyes, and she was a very good favorite to my brother and I. We loved her very much. Unfortunately, she passed away early due to a urinary tract infection, which we found out too little too late kind of thing, and she had to be put down. Now here's the interesting part. This is a very true story, please believe me. When my brother and I were living together in an apartment in Ottawa on Booth Street, some years after the cat Misty had passed away, a very interesting occurrence happened. Very distinctual and very proving to us indefinitely that it was her spirit coming to talk to us. Okay? When she was alive, she had this funny habit. You know, all animals have their own quirks and habits, and they dream, also proving they have a soul too, by the way. And she had her own cute little personality, as all animals do, and she used to like to chew with her teeth, because we declutter because of, you know, furniture and all that stuff. You know, whether that's a good or a bad thing ultimately. Some people say decluttering is mean. Yeah, it could be, I suppose, but that's what happened back then. And she used to chew with her fangs a roll of toilet paper attached to its little, you know, little fitting by the toilet, and she would leave all these little pock marks all over it, and it would, you know, it would roll, and she'd put more. So a roll of toilet paper essentially could be just full of cute little teeth marks. And she did this a lot. We found it funny. We weren't getting mad at her for it. It was cute, right? And so this is what happened to my brother and I when we were living in that apartment. Years after she had passed, I went to go to the washroom and brush my teeth, take a pee-pee, whatever the case, and I looked down and said, "Oh my goodness, there's little teeth marks in that." My brother and I didn't have any animals. There's no way that we did that. We didn't sleepwalk and stab the toilet paper with a knife or something like that. So it was perfectly and distinctly exactly the way that Misty would do it. So it happened only once. My brother and I talked about it. We agreed that it was her spirit that came back to just say hello. And we were very touched and very honored that that happened. So that was one very nice story. A second story that I would very much like to share, and would hope indeed that you believe this also. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are under the impression that, okay, the spirits, the ghosts, it's a bad word, ghost, but the spirits of humans that linger on will do things, but the spirits of animals cannot. Well, I'm telling you that's false. They very much can. And if you don't believe the first story, please do. And here's my second one, with a cat. I'm going to speak on cats for a second more. My wife and I adopted a cat that lived with another family in Orleans, in the Ottawa area. And it was a little black cat named Pumpkin. When we got her, she was a small, tiny little feminine thing. When we got her, we found out very soon after that she was sick. I'm not sure the previous owners knew about it, because they seemed like very nice people. I don't imagine they would give us a sick cat and just say, "Oh well, it's your problem, too bad." I don't think they were quite aware. Anyway, the cat had worms, so we found that out quickly, and brought her to the vet, got pills and whatnot, and she was able to, you know, evacuate them, and that seemed to solve the problem. But I don't know if it was another sickness or what, but for whatever reason, when we moved apartments, we had a small one-bedroom when I moved in with my wife, then we got a bigger condo-style apartment before we bought this house here. And so Pumpkin came with us. She all of a sudden got extremely sick, and as they say, cats are good at hiding it, because, you know, cats like to sleep all the time. They're always lounging around lazy, and they're proud creatures, so you don't always know that if they're sick they could hide it well. You could find out too little too late, just like Misty. So yeah, she got very sick and she died. We brought her to the vet after we noticed her tongue was very pale in color, and we said, "Oh God, you know, she looks more sleepy than normal." And the vet said, "Too little too late, gotta put her down." So that was pretty sad, and we cried about it. My wife called me at the vet and told me this information, and she was crying, and I fought the tears too, like I'm doing now actually. And but she gave us a nice little hello from the other side in 2 parts. Please believe that this is true. I want you to believe 1000% that my story is true. Wolf Shaman doesn't lie. I got nothing to gain by lying. I'm not making money, and I'm not looking for popularity. I am telling you the truth. This cat, after she died, did 2 amazing messages to us. Very distinctful. And the night of her death, I lit a candle and was expecting, if someone close to me passes away, I would almost feel insulted if they didn't talk to me. So I want them to let me know that they're alright in the other side. So my wife and I shared a bottle of wine. We celebrated Pumpkin's life, and here's what happened. We were in the habit, this is going to sound bizarre for a lot of people, I understand that, but I'm talking to the people that have a keener mind and a keener heart to undertake this impression as truth. We each had our own cell phone. We were in the habit of turning our cell phones off at night. No point getting a strange random call or being woken up or who knows what, or wasting the battery. So turn the cell phone off for the night. Our cell phones were both off together. They were placed on the coffee table. That was it. We went to bed. As we were in our bed, maybe it was 10:30 or 11 at night, and oddly enough, my wife's cell phone called my cell phone. It rang and the phone was off. So I went to check the phones. They are both off. She looked at her phone and it said one call made to mine, and that was at that exact time. So that is extremely bizarre. Cell phones don't usually turn themselves on and make phone calls. Now a lot of people will like to explain it away. Oh, it was just some kind of delay. It was some matrix flukes. Well, no. I'm afraid not, because of the significance of the timing of it. And dreams that followed. A very strong dream that occurred. Oh, well, I'll mention this. We took some of Pumpkin's belongings, a favorite piece of string and a little ball and stuff like this, and I put it in a case for sunglasses. I have no use for a case for sunglasses. So I put those in the case, and we walked around behind the creek in the backyard and in the little field that's there, a barren field, and buried that like a casket of memory. And I believe it was that very night my wife had a dream. She saw a slim girl wearing a black dress with orange hair, making you think of a pumpkin, like a jack-o'-lantern, Halloween colors, walking down a street in broad daylight with this incredibly huge, very happy face. And she told me about it, and I said, that's Pumpkin talking to us. And she used the impression of a human body to talk to us in the dream. Dreams are very real. Dreams can be more real than your waking life right now. And my impression was she graduated from cat, and now she's going to have her first life as a human. She's happy as a pig in poop. So yeah, we understood it was Pumpkin. Now if people want to explain it away, it's because yes, you've been conditioned to doubt. This is a society in the West. We've been conditioned to doubt before we believe. It's a guilty before innocent society. Very unfortunate. But for people that are like myself, that are mystics, that are into the shamanic world, and even if you're not, many people, more than half the world, can easily believe this kind of stuff, this testimony. So I hope that you will. So that's my story on cats. I want to mention also briefly about power animals and how you can discover for yourself if you want to adopt and take on a power form of an animal. Now, you certainly do not need to have a power animal, or plural, power animals plural, to be a mystic, to be a shaman, to be anything. It's an individual choice. It was a very common thing in certain cultures, and of course what's brought to mind is the Native American cultures, strongly among one of the prominent cultures that undertook and understood the power of animals, the spirit, the archetype spirit and forms of animals. And it's up to the individual what you feel close to. I mean, for myself, I'm very close to cats, I'm close to eagles, I like turtles. I guess those are some of the prominent ones. I also feel close to boars and buffalo and horses. So these are all different things. You can have as many as you want or zero, it doesn't matter. It's just a nice practice to take on for yourself, because I'll put it this way, and of course wolves, well, let me mention my name here on the YouTube. The power of it comes down to natural instinctual defenses or inclinations, or I don't want to say aggressive as if in the bad way of aggression, but to empower yourself, to combat something, to give yourself strength in a moment of need, perhaps. and I know this sounds bizarre lingo, but the way I'm talking now is going to eventually be commonplace in the times to come, and even this speech will be outdated very soon, believe me. But our consciousness is still growing, and great things are to come. But I will again suggest strongly that you please believe that we were animals in our past lives, okay? And this means that we can remember our past lives and remember the strength that we might have obtained or attained from one of these experiences. I had a very deep shamanic trance one time. I had a drumming CD. Some people say, oh, don't listen to a CD, it's not authentic. No, you certainly can. If it works, it works. If the result is the same, then that's all that matters, okay? So I had a drumming CD on, and I was in the bath, and it was at nighttime, and I was alone, unbothered, and I went into a big trance. I saw a massive flying eagle above the forest, like a thunderbird, and the dream altered and shifted, and I saw myself in a cave, and I saw two heads peering at me, and they were slim men, and they didn't seem to have long hair. I thought that they might have been African. And they were hunters, and I was an animal in the cave. And they shook hands with each other and went away, and then the vision shifted and altered again, and the next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and I was a buffalo, I was a bison, and a tanka, and there were 2 or 3 hunters standing above me, and I remember my spirit looking at them and saying, it's okay that you eat me, I'm offering myself to you, go ahead. So then the vision altered and shifted, and I came out of my trance after that. So this is a real shamanic experience. You can have it just as easily as I can have it. You have but to try and but to believe. You but to intend, but to will yourself to have something like this. Okay? So this happens. And that is a very interesting piece of memory, because for anyone that has had a vision, there is very much a distinct difference between a dream, which is impressions of yourself and a message of some sort. It's a little abstract, like seeing yourself naked walking in public, or bizarre things like this, or being able to have superpowers and all sorts of stuff. And then there's such a thing as a vision, which is actually a memory, an impression of a memory that you actually witnessed for yourself. It could be of the past, or even more mysteriously, it can be of the future. Okay, prophecies are very real when they come true, aren't they? So that's my testimony. You can also have, and I'll give you one more quick experience before I wrap up. I have also had an experience where, 2 experiences. This was very recent actually. The trance I had in the bath was 2 years ago or so. The experiences I'm about to share with you are not much more than a month ago. I was in my bed, and my wife and I were asleep, and the kids were in bed and all that. Was this before or after my daughter was born? I think just before my daughter was born. And so yeah, about a month and a half ago. And I remember it was just about dawn, I was just about to wake up, and I had this spirit of a bear attack me in the spiritual world, who put this impression of fear and aggression upon me. And then I tuned my mind to see it differently, and the bear turned into a dog, like a Rottweiler. And then he and I, as if the spirit of the entity, he and I breathed together as if realizing each other, and then we met each other in the very depth of our heart, and the dog shrank into a little puppy, and my heart flooded with overwhelming love for this entity, and the entity felt very happy to be I don't know, recognized or whatnot, or pacified, placated, soothed. And then it went away. And I woke up and I said some words to myself, like, now I figured that out, but I forgot what the words were. But the impression is with me emotionally, but I don't remember what the words were. Oddly enough, I didn't write it down. So that was interesting. Another incident that happened, and I'm not trying to say these things to brag, I'm trying to say these to encourage other people to believe that it's real and true, and to also share your own stories, because I love making videos and getting responses of people that said, yeah, that happened to me too. Because this stuff is common. We're not supposed to hide it or be ashamed. You see, the modern Western world has made people ashamed of God, ashamed of the spirits, ashamed of the Creator, ashamed of the many mysteries. we've been conditioned to say, no, 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 that's evolution. No, 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 that's science. We'll explain that away. It's just a mental problem. You're schizophrenic, or, you know, on and on they go, trying to explain stuff away, and it's just their own folly. It's their own deliberate want to control you and I. But let me suggest this, as I have it in another one of my videos, that you decide how close you want to be to God and Spirit in the spirit world. I will decide how close I am going to be with it. Nobody to tell me anything. I've experienced things that maybe a lot of people wouldn't even believe, and I won't even talk about it. But that's fine. No one stops me. There's no roof. And for you too, there's no roof. Okay? It's very important to understand that. You don't have to get permission from anybody to be a shaman. You don't have to apologize to anybody to be a mystic. Okay? It's up to us. That's the beauty of it. And realizing that is true empowerment. It's being truly yourself and being truly free. So, yeah, just to wrap up on one more quick story about animals. This was not long ago. A month, maybe 3 weeks ago. Something like that. And my wife and I were asleep. I woke up maybe at an odd time, like midnight or something. And here's what happened. Here's the instance that happened that woke me up. Because I woke up laughing and chuckling, which was great. I was asleep, and one or two spirit of wolves tried to attack me, and I instantly smiled ear to ear. I felt my spirit smile. I had a whole bunch of wolves behind me, and I said, "You can't bug me. I'm the wolf master." Either they went away or joined the pack. I don't know, but I don't like to brag, but they got nothing on me for that part of it. So that was pretty cool. I'll just share that one of my past lives, and I don't want to sound bragging. I just want to speak the truth, matter of fact truth. You and I we've all had many fascinating past lives. Why not? Why not share them if you remember them? Why be ashamed of it? One of my visions that came to me, and one of my what happened a few times. I won't just say one vision. Excuse me. It was a series. I'm just going to get a sip of grape juice here. It was a series of visions, and one stood out very prominently. And if you see my user picture, you'll see a Native American with a wolf headdress and with a wintry background and some wolves running. Well, that's a very close past life connection for me. I very much was a wolf shaman as a Native American man. I don't know how many 100 years ago or whatnot. I'm trying to remember it. I'm going to have to ask Spirit to reveal it to me. But it was very authentic, very real, very comforting. I'm very happy about this. And I'm not even going to say anything else. But I saw myself in a vision as this person. And it happened a few times when I was in a trance, doing a dance trance with music, with flute music and etc. And, you know, because you can get into a strong trance just by dancing, closing your eyes, and you know, the form of dance is very strong for that. So yeah, I've seen myself a few times like this, and very encouraging, very lovely. I'm very proud of it. Proud of it in a good way, not in an aggressive way. And that is the grace and the magic and the beauty that animals can give us, is to have this notion of instinctual intuition. Because, you know, like anyone who has a cat or a dog, you understand that their intuitive powers are very, 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 very strong. Their ability to sense spirits is very strong. Cats and dogs, just for an example, which are the common household pet, famous for looking at spirits suddenly, or being afraid of a room that's empty and barking, or not wanting to go upstairs or downstairs, or all sorts of stuff. Sometimes cats play with spirits of animals, and perhaps maybe, I don't know, gnomes and fairies for all I know, chasing each other around the house. You know, I've seen an interaction with cats that, why would they do that by themselves? You know, if there was a partner involved, kind of thing. So that's my story on power animals and animal spirits and archetypes, instinctual archetypes and powerful forces. I recommend you look at yourself, because if you do feel like adopting a power animal or more than one, all you have to do is just see what you are similar to, what gives you strength, what gives you courage. And that can be a very strong animal for you. When you're in a mode of distress or fear or something, you can ask for the power of that animal to rise within you, and its attributes can fight for you. If you feel afraid or intimidated to speak to someone, or to have an argument in the classroom even, then you can say, well, I'll take on the bison or the ram, and I'll headbutt so to speak, I'll go forward and take this challenge. So that's just one simple example of the things we can do with our power animals. So yes, animals have a soul. We were them before. They can be close to us at any time. You can have spiritual guides and totems that are of that spirit and sort, and we can be very happy about that. It's very excellent. So once again, please take my testimony. My stories on YouTube are always true, and it's from the depth and the core of my heart. My main mission on YouTube is, I guess, to find out things with other people and encourage other people and have them encourage me, and we grow in love and knowledge and intuition and become what we're meant to become. So please take my words as true. They are true. They are true. My stories are always true. Always true. And I wish you the best morning, evening, week, weekend, etc. Namaste, one love, one beautiful grace for us. And I'll have more videos to come. Check out my other ones if you feel like it. And take care for now. Bye.